What's going on, guys? It's Mr. DEBT Joe Lorick from the Money Etiquette Group, and today I have to talk about a little bit of negative news. I don't like to usually do this, but the news is coming out of my city, Baltimore, and it's about former Mayor Cathy Pugh, who has officially been indicted on at least 7 charges of wire fraud and 2 charges of tax evasion. And this is in relation to her Healthy Holly book series, the self-published series that's tied to much of the controversy that was going on towards the end of her tenure as mayor. Now, I'll put this out here as a disclosure. Guys, I've met Cathy Pugh. I've had conversations with her. I know her. I don't know her like a best friend. I don't know her like a close friend, but I've had enough conversations with her to kind of feel a way about this entire news, because while I'm not saying that she's not guilty, I do respect her as a person. I do find her to be a very intelligent woman. Some of the things that she said to me and in personal conversations, just one-on-one conversations, I thought were brilliant. And I can't speak to her character because I don't know her that well. But this is unfortunate news coming out about her. And of course, we don't need another negative and black eye story coming out about Baltimore City. But this is happening. And of course, it's surrounding her. So let's talk about the case. Let's talk about the charges. Let's talk about what's going on. So most of the controversy in this case has to do with the sales of the Healthy Holly book series that was by Cathy Pugh. Apparently, there's fraud found in the accounting when it comes to the book sales, and then it's tied to her personal income. The allegations are saying that there were sales of books that were recorded, but they never went out. They're saying that there are double credits for single sales. And also, when it comes to the tax evasion part, the reports are saying that she alleged to earn only $36,000 in 2016 when she actually earned about $322,000 or $330,000 that year. Now, these are serious allegations, and obviously the way that they're tying this together, if you don't see it, what they're alleging is that Cathy Pugh made profits from her book, but she also didn't claim those profits as personal profits, though she did get the money from the sale of those books. Now, obviously, when she sold those books, it's going to be done under an LLC. It's not going to be done under her personal name. And if the business retains that income, that revenue, then the business takes that on as profits and revenue. However, if from those same accounts, and this is where allegedly this is what happened, from those same accounts, if let's say Cathy Pugh pays for a house, she pays down her bills, her personal bills, but those bills and those homes are not under the LLC's name, then technically she made an income, and they're saying that she didn't claim that income. They're also saying that she had several backdoor deals with local businesses and some local universities, and she didn't disclose her position with some when it came to some of the deals. But basically, they're saying she used her leverage as mayor and also as a candidate to make money and make deals with people for promises that may have gone unfulfilled or just maybe were underhanded. We don't know that to be true. I think that's hard to prove. I think it's easier to prove the money trail in the case if you're saying that there was tax evasion, in which honestly, if she only gets found guilty of tax evasion, I don't expect her to do any jail time. I'm just going to be honest with you. I expect, okay, here's a payment plan, here's how you pay back the money, but I do not expect former Mayor Cathy Pugh to be indicted and found guilty on tax evasion and imprisoned for tax evasion. When it comes to the wire fraud, that's where things get a little tricky, because I don't believe the feds will bring this case unless they had a money trail, unless they could see, okay, money went from here to here to here to here. And it's difficult to explain money movements when you go from business accounts to personal accounts without there being some level of fraud if it's not accounted for. So this is what the case is revolving around. I don't know why they were investigating her in the first place. I don't know who started the investigation, but obviously she pissed somebody off for that to happen. I don't know who she didn't pay. I don't know who she didn't deal with, but someone got upset with her and these charges came about. Because I'm going to be honest with you, in business, this is something that happens on a regular basis. It doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it right, but it happens. And it's unfortunate that Baltimore City has to be dragged in the dirt with this case. We've already seen recently with what the president said about, Elijah Cummings, rest in peace, about his district and having rats in it and not being clean and drug use. And now for this to come out about the mayor, most of us in Baltimore City, we were aware that this was coming, but the timing is just, unfortunate because, again, we don't need more negative stories coming out of the city. But again, guys, we're talking about a very intelligent woman. The most difficult part of this story to accept is the negligence, even if there was wrongdoing. Because, again, I've had conversations with Miss Cathy Pugh, and I think she's an intelligent woman. And it's hard for me to believe that even if she was wrong and did everything that's being alleged, who doesn't cover their trail better? I mean, this is obvious. If you're telling me that she literally took money from book sales to pay for a home, and if you're telling me that she paid off debts with that money, but did not at least claim it as income, that's tough. Because that's just a basic accounting practice. I mean, there are ways her LLC could have paid for these things and everything could have been under the name of the LLC, which would take her or which would keep her away from any personal liability in these cases when it comes to the tax evasion part. Wire transfer or wire fraud, that's different. But when it comes to the tax evasion part, there's no reason why I just can't see her doing that, because I believe she's better than that in terms of intelligence. Again, I can't speak to her moral compass, but this is just bad. And I don't know if it's that she trusted a money manager, her treasurer, or whoever on her team handled these things more than she should have. But usually you don't trust someone to that level where you're not completely aware of what's going on, especially when you're running to become mayor and you become mayor of a city like Baltimore. And especially after what happened with our former mayor, Sheila Dixon, who, when you look at comparing Sheila Dixon, I remember during the campaign, people were still talking about gift cards. Well, those who supported Cathy Pugh, how do you feel about Mayor Sheila Dixon now? I mean, I'm just going to put that out there. She had to leave office over a few gift cards. That's nothing in comparison to the federal indictment that came down today for Mayor Cathy Pugh, or former Mayor Cathy Pugh. And I remember I was a part of that campaign because I was working for someone that was running for city council at the time. So I was in cahoots with all the campaigns. I heard the conversations that were going on. I spoke to a lot of voters. And at the time, so many people were so down on former Mayor Sheila Dixon, and they were so up on Cathy Pugh. And it looks like of the two, I don't know, if you look at just the charges, Mayor Sheila Dixon doesn't look too bad. But I'm not here to talk about the two of them. I just want to get into, again, look, if you hear about this on a national scale, understand that this is still a person that's being dealt with. She is an intelligent woman. I can't say whether she did this or not. I just know that when the Fed brings charges like this, usually they have paperwork to back it. They're not. And then when she gets indicted, meaning a jury saw the paperwork and saw all the evidence and discovery, it's kind of hard to believe that she's going to get away with this. But I will say this. If she's able to get past the wire fraud charges and only gets left with tax evasion, don't expect former Mayor Cathy Pugh to go to jail or prison. Don't expect it. For those who want to see her under the jail, who want to see her, prosecuted at the highest degree, I'm going to let you guys know, if it just comes down to tax evasion, she's not going to prison. Okay, it's not happening. But again, guys, you can let me know what you think about this entire subject matter. I mean, it's a whole lot of did everything but think, a whole lot of debt issues surrounding this entire situation. There are people being thrown into this, and their names are being put out there in the media, and it shouldn't be. So it's just a bad look. But ultimately, I'm going to hope that, not that something underhanded didn't happen, but everything that's been alleged didn't happen. If a fraction of it happened, that's better than all of it. Because the way these charges look, this is bad. because Mayor Cathy Pugh could see some serious time in a federal penitentiary for this. And when I say serious time, I'm not talking about 10 to life. I'm not talking 20 years to life. I'm saying for a 69-year-old woman who even would have to do 3, 4, 5 years in prison, that would be a lot. You know, she might not even make it because she's not the healthiest person in the world right now. So even 5 years in a federal penitentiary could be serious for her, could be life altering. She could really lose her life in prison. And I pray that doesn't happen. But we're going to have to watch and see what happens here. This is a serious case. Hopefully the city can continue to recover from such negative stories. Just understand that Baltimore is better than this. It's not all about fraud cases with our government officials and police brutality and crime and murders. Look, Baltimore is a great city. Don't get it twisted. Baltimore City is a great city. And I'm asking you not to allow a few stories about corruption and allegations. Look, this is a part of the cleaning up process. This is a part of what happens when you try to get better. It's going to look ugly, but the city's a lot more beautiful than you might believe. All right, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section. If you know Miss Cathy Pugh, let me know what you think about it. If you are against her, for her, or even if you know anything about this case, let me know what you think.